Good morning, Lagos, and thank you very much for joining us. You're listening to The Locker Room here on Smooth Breakfast with Adi Baker.
And Valentine Ohu.
And here on Smooth 98.1 is one way to reach us, to send you messages. Actually, two ways. Well, the first one is on WhatsApp. The number is 0809 444 The second one is through Twitter.
We are at Smooth 981 FM. You can use the hashtag LockerRoom981 and don't forget there are 2 hours in Locker Room.
And this morning, Kanu actually said yesterday that he had suffered the saddest day of his life after finding out that every medal that he won as a former Arsenal and Nigerian star had vanished from his Lagos property. In his words, "This is the saddest day of my life as I cannot understand why this happened to me. All the medals I've earned, in addition to the Olympic torch that I cherished, are all gone. And I don't even know who to ask for all these prized assets." So sad.
So sad. But as it is, the police are involved in this, and there's going to be some investigation carried out and all. And this is not the first case of medals going missing, but it's just sad that this is happening now to another legend, Kanu. So I hope that the police do the job, question everybody, including the Ghana, and then find the medals, because I don't know why you'd be robbing him of all the things he worked hard to earn, and just when he's sitting down or settling down to enjoy his retirement, somebody comes and steals away. I mean, not they can't wipe out the memory, but they steal the mementos of those important celebrations of victories he had. So I hope the police really get somebody and can punish a person for it.
All right.
Okay, so let's talk about tennis and let's talk about Serena Williams as she prevails in 49 minutes at the Aussie Open. Now, in her first match at the Australian Open since winning the 2007 title while pregnant, and her first official match anywhere since a loss in the chaotic US Open final in September, Williams looked to be at her dominant best, overpowering Tatjana Maria 6-0, 6-2 in the first round on Tuesday. And a quote here says, "I kind of like to jump in the deep end and swim and see what happens," Williams said in an open on-court interview after the 49-minute workout.
Yes, that's literally what it was. It was a workout. She came to train. She came to practice, because Sienna didn't give her any. Would I say there was no effort to try and stop her. It didn't look like Serena was fighting a battle. It just looked like she was training. But you turned that over to her sister Venus, and Venus had to struggle. There was one particular point in time Venus was a set and a breakdown, and it looked like she was going to be out of it, but she fought back, and she managed to stay in this. However, you look at the section that the Williams sisters are in. It's a very tough section. There's still Muguruza, there's Simona Halep, who also struggled in her very first match. There's Carla Suarez Navarro. There's, think of the tough cookies, heavy hitters, fighters. They are in that section, so somebody's going to eventually knock out somebody. Kaya Kanepi has already gone, and so there's still more hurdles for her to get through. So it's good that she's starting at a slower pace, and then she can build up her momentum more. Like the other people that started with the battle, they may fatigue by the time they get towards the important stages. So let's see how this turns out for the sisters. But I don't think, with the way Venus was playing and struggling, especially with the fact that she parted ways with her coach a few weeks back, late last year, then it's not looking really bright.
Yeah, sad. Well, let's talk about the son of Michael Schumacher, Mick. Mick Schumacher, son of the seven-time champion Michael, has joined the Ferrari Driver Academy, sources close to the team say. The 19-year-old is embarking on his first season in Formula 2, the final feeder category before Formula 1, with the leading Prima team in 2019. As part of his deal, Mick Schumacher is to drive in 2 tests with Ferrari this season. It's fantastic.
It's great, I mean, he's coming from that family, but just a lot of pressure. Because if you don't drive, they'll be like, your daddy won 7 championships. Can't you even win 1? It's just too much of a hurdle to jump over. But I think more than anything, or more than the expectations, he actually loves driving. So the fact that he can graduate, or he's been promoted, even if it's just for tests, yet it's from there that you can get to some of the driver's seats. It's a good one. So following the steps of your father, but guy, no pressure. We know that you are not Michael Schumacher. One, just calm down.
All right, let's talk about Petr Cech. Arsenal keeper to retire at the end of the season, and he's 36, by the way. Okay, so the 36-year-old joined Arsenal in June 2015 from the London rivals Chelsea, where he spent 11 years. The quote here says, having played 15 years in the Premier League and won every single trophy possible, I feel like I have achieved everything I set out to achieve, said the ex-Czech Republic international.
Yes, I think he's pretty much done everything he was supposed to do. I'm sure it's the age. It's telling him that you're going to get more, you're going to get less time um, on the pitch. So it's about time you retired. Just go home and rest. And it's lasted longer for him. His career could have ended in 2006, but he survived that skull fracture, came back into the game, and has continued to play permanently. I mean, at least in the cups, he's playing for Arsenal. So he's hoping that he can live on a high. If he wins one trophy before he leaves, then it'll be fantastic for him. But otherwise, I think he has nothing else to prove. He won he's already won a lot of the titles that every player. And I know
Every goalkeeper.
I know every player.
And goalkeeper, I know.
No.
But you know, he's a goalkeeper. It's a special place for him.
No. Every player. Whether you're a goalkeeper, midfielder, there are players that will swap their career for his. Straight up.
Yes.
They'll be like, you know what, if you give me your career life.
It's not to catch the ball.
I will take, because I mean, when you think about a guy that's won all these titles, and there's some people that have made headlines, scored fantastic goals, and not one single trophy to their name, they gladly take his life. So he has a resume that people would envy, and I know, like, he may not have really wanted to retire, but that body, that age, and that limited time is telling him that your time has passed.
Will Steven Gerrard want to envy? Will he envy his?
Of course, Steven Gerrard would envy his. What did Steven Gerrard
saying that because
apart
of the Premier League.
Steven Gerrard would want to envy Petr Cech die. I mean, I think Petr Cech also won the Champions League
He won
too.
the Champions
Yeah,
League too.
so Steven Gerrard would swap his career quickly. And that's what one of the players I'm talking about. They've made headlines. They're legends in their own status. But if you told them, do you want this resume or do you want to keep yours? They'd gladly switch. So that's a good one for him. So retire, enjoy your retirement. You have no shame and you have nothing to prove to anybody.
Well done, thank you very much. Let's move on to this one. Now, the 36-year-old joined Arsenal in June of 2015 from the London rivals Chelsea, where he spent 11 years. Having played 15 years, this one says, okay, we'll jump this now because very interesting details. But keep your messages coming into WhatsApp 0809-444-0981, and we can take a few of them right now. This one is from Chimobi Victor from Alaba International. It says, Tega, I'll blame Kanu for that. The reason that he should have known better for keeping all his medals in the bank. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's this country.
Let him finish his message. It says, instead of taking those medals to the hotel, I hope he finds it. But other players and athletes should learn from his experience.
I think, first of all, we have this bad habit of victimizing the victim in this country.
It's just so wrong.
They stole your car. Where did you go?
So wrong.
Oh, they stole your bag. How were you holding it? Oh, they stole your money. Where did you spend it? It is very wrong. It's not like he put the medals in his car and was driving it around to show everybody. It was stolen from his Lagos apartments. I'm sure it's been there for a while before they got missing. So for you to come and start blaming him is a very wrong position to take. You should apologize to him. And I'll be waiting for that apology here.
We try to be more empathetic. Lagos, let's take a break. We'll be back to talk, to share more stories on the locker room. Remember, you can send your messages in to WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. And then, after the break, Brutalistics will join us. Good morning.
Peter Moscow, and this is your Love Music, Love Life station.
I'm already here.
I don't know you're already here. Only these people now.
You guys told them.
Yeah.
Now
Now
they
they
already
know.
leaked it.
Now they know you're here. Before, would you have preferred if I say you're late?
Yes, no.
Yeah, okay. Alright.
People understand now.
Please give him the stories.
Yes, please.
Tell them it's better.
Sorry, I was trying to say put it like that. Hello?
I think it's I will not say like this. That's making it
Sorry.
Are we talking about so far? You can reiterate it.
Yeah,
too.
twice. You're supposed to mention so far.
So far,
Twice.
You can just highlight when you come back.
When I forgot to talk about Serena's outfit. See, I'm not feeling well. It wasn't the green white green, it was they told her not to wear catsuit. When I gave them romper. She just cut off the leg. Did you see her bum in those things? Jesus.
It has always been there.
Jesus.
Anyway,
So I'm coming back with the stories.
Yes.
I really wanted to talk about that because it cost.
quite a ruckus.
Yes. So people now started tweeting at Lexis, guy. It's like, I like the romper. I don't know what you're talking about. You would like it. Yeah. So, advantage, maybe. Chelsea, maybe. Carabao Cup, maybe.
But this one, is so good, strike that one.
That's why I say advantage, maybe. So, just.
Right? Don't stop them from. Don't stop them from behind. One cage out, Billy Ali will step up to the phone. The guy will
If I had never heard of you, I would not know that you were a fighter. No cauliflower yourself. Great fighter. Have to be born. Would you like to be president? No, sir. Today, black men and males now, one might be the president.
So what's up? He's coming on.
I worry more about airplanes than
It's dangerous then. Any idiot on the president.
Is it back?
kill some.
They can't, Joe.
That's a waste of bullets.
Why?
But when they can impeach him, they have a full folder of.
Impeachment will fail.
They have a full folder. You can see the Republican Society.
Mics are up. Studio silence, please. And we're back to talking sports inside of the locker room this morning with Brutalistics. Uncle Boo Boo. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry I came in a little bit late.
Did you not? Oh, interesting. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
And we have Tega Supreme as always. Lagos, sending your messages through WhatsApp to 0809-444-0981. A quick reminder here that on Thursday by 6 p.m. the red carpet will be rolled out for Lagos, especially as we commemorate Shadi Adu at 60. Soul's Conversation is putting this together. And of course, we are all going to be there. The show starts at 7 p.m.
Definitely.
It's at the Barcade on Thursday, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Lagos, let's talk some more sports. Now, Tottenham's Harry Kane has been ruled out until March with an ankle injury. Scans have revealed that the England captain damaged ligaments in his left ankle during Sunday's defeat to Manchester United after competing for a loose ball with United duo Phil Jones and Victor Lindelof seconds before the final whistle. Kane will miss Tottenham's Carabao Cup semi-final second leg against Chelsea on the 24th of January, as well as the final, which is due to take place on the 24th of February, should Spurs get there. He's also likely to miss both legs of the Spurs Champions League last 16 tie against Borussia Dortmund.
But I mean, those are the only things he's going to miss, just in case. He's going to miss the game against Fulham, which is coming up this weekend. Apart from the Chelsea Tottenham, there's another small matter of an FA Cup game against Crystal Palace, and it's worrying. I think it's worrying for Tottenham because he has been instrumental, not just in terms of goals, but his ability to bring out the best in the likes of Son Heung-min and even Dele Alli. I think for some will say perhaps advantage Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, but I mean I temper that by qualifying that yes, he may be out, but there's still a number of other players with the potential to dive and win penalties for Tottenham against Chelsea. The pressure for delivering goals and now improving link-up play now falls on Fernando Llorente, who many will argue probably is a far cry from the quality that Harry Kane offers. But he has to step up if he hopes to get further his career away from Tottenham. This is the time that he has to pick up his bootstraps and put in good performances. That said, I don't know what it is with playing Manchester United and getting injured. Arsenal's problems with injuries literally commenced after that 2-2 draw against them. They were dropping like flies in that game, and then you have Tottenham coming to meet Manchester United, and then you have all sorts of injury problems. That said,
Let's not forget Sissoko.
Sissoko is out. Now the Son Heung-min is away at the Asian Cup. So a lot of critical, very important players for the team are away. That said, Mauricio Pochettino has been able to create a system that, regardless of who's in there, they seem to maintain the same level of performance and get results. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Harry Kane is important, but there's something about Pochettino and his team. They seem to find a way to get results, and we'll see how they go. Against Fulham this weekend, it may not really matter. They just signed Ryan Babel, I think. I think that they have more problems defensively than offensive issues, and they need to address that in this window. We'll see how Tottenham cope without Harry Kane. That said, Harry Kane has been known to have quick recovery as well. So they say he's out till March. He may surprise us and be back sooner than that.
All right, let's talk about Gennaro Gattuso. But first, don't forget you can send in your messages. Reach out to us on WhatsApp at 0809-444-0981. So AC Milan head coach Gennaro Gattuso appears to have backtracked on his earlier claims that Gonzalo Higuain wants to leave the club. Now, a quote here says, "We need to understand what he wants to do, how to fix this matter. Either he's a great actor, but I don't think so. I see him inside the project. He gets on well with all the team. He's always joking sometimes. He's like a radio. He never stops."
Yes, so 1 minute you said that Higuain wants to move, the next minute you're saying he doesn't want to move, he wants to stay. But is the tail of the January transfer window. He's probably weighed up his options and has seen that, it may not be favorable to move, or really people would have to pay a ridiculous amount of money to Juventus to get him, and so he has had to find his peace in AC Milan, at least till the end of the season. Then in the summer, himself and his agent can work something out. But what it is right now, Gattuso is going to be happy that he's staying at least. Gattuso has more problems than he can count, and a transfer of another major player is not something he'd like to deal with at this point in time. But going forward, Higuain is going to have to again sell himself, because people have forgotten the Higuain. That's how football is. Short-term memory. People forget how spectacular he had. Like, how many goals he scored last season? He scored 90 goals in one. This last season, how many goals he scored? We don't want to get the record he had 2 years or 3 years ago. And so he has to sell himself anew. He's gone to an AC Milan side that people are not really seeing because they're not in the Champions League. It is the Italian Serie A, so it's not as well watched as either the EPL or the La Liga. So right now, in order for him to make any kind of waves, he has to start dropping those goals. So he doesn't need to score 40 goals.
Because that was the hallmark for the last 2 seasons.
It's Italian Serie A. And they don't score 40 goals like that. That's not. What are you talking about? It's not Messi. It's not Ronaldo. Please.
Okay, so Nathan Njoku sent in a meme. He's retweeting Arsenal and quoting them. He says, "I hope the police can really do a proper investigation and recover those prized possessions." I think regarding the Kanu issue, and we hope so as well. We hope he recovers most of what he's lost, and all of them precisely. Now Nathan Njoku sent in another message. He says Kanu's house must have been abandoned for so long for someone to have time to go in and steal those things. Jejely. Good luck to the Czech on his next endeavors. I heard Chelsea are calling him back for something. Not sure what though, but Arsenal really destroyed his hard-earned record. And then Mike the Great sent in this one on Twitter.
He says that there are loads of average players who has better resumes than players like Steven Gerrard by virtue of teams they're lucky to play for.
Keep your messages coming into WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. Alright, so our next story. AC Milan head coach Gennaro. We to go to this next story about Manchester United. They will reportedly be offered a reduced ticket allocation for next week's FA Cup 4th round trip to Arsenal. Why are you laughing, Tega? It's not funny. According to competition guidelines, United are entitled to up to 15% of the 60,000 capacity at Arsenal Emirates Stadium when the two sides meet on the 25th of January. Now, what makes the FA Cup special is the larger away allocations than you get in the league games. That's according to a spokesman. What they said, they continue to say that for Arsenal to offer a little over half the proper allocation is a joke. The game is just 10 days away, and at present, United are unable to sell tickets to their fans. Supporters need to make arrangements for a fixture, which has already been shifted to an inconvenient Friday night kickoff time. Wow, wow.
Okay, so here is the trouble. Usually, for like the Manchester United Fan Association said, they have 15% of the allocation of the 60,000 tickets, which comes up to about 9,000. Arsenal is further cutting that to just 5,000 tickets for away fans, and they are citing security. Now, here's what's interesting: the fans of Arsenal are upset. They're like, give them their 9,000 because there may be a replay. We don't want to go there and they'll give us 3,000 because people have cut down their allocation. So you give them the number of tickets. So the fans are asking for a different thing than the board is asking for a different thing. I don't understand why they are reducing their numbers from 9,000 to 5,000. And he's right. The FA Cup is supposed to get you ticket to matches that you would not normally see in the Premier League, away matches for your team especially. And so for Arsenal to do this, they're just starting something that they will not be able to finish. If they manage to get into that game and get a replay, it's 2 tickets.
There's no guarantee that they will get a replay with their current form, the injuries and all the problems that they seem not to have been able to resolve. So this is just there's a lot of turmoil in the background in Arsenal. It seems to be factional wars and all of that. And this may also be a fallout of that. There's a lot of unsettled stuff that needs to be resolved so that Arsenal can get ahead with. I can't guarantee that they will get everything.
I don't see that happening with this current Manchester United team too. But real quick though, let's get into the messages one more time. Don't forget your tweets come to #lockerroom981. And well, this one here says EFL should give Derby 2-0 win over Leeds after spy. Says Stuart Pearce. Okay, so the EFL should reverse the scoreline and award Derby a victory over Leeds after a spy was discovered at the Rams training ground last week. Says Stuart Pearce on the debate.
Yes. Okay. So here's what happened. Leeds United was supposed to play Derby, and then but Derby went to their training, and then the police had to be called in. There was a lot of drama. They couldn't complete their training. Why? They said there were some spies from Leeds United watching their training. So they went on to play the game, and they lost by 2-0 to Leeds. And they talked about spying, and somebody was like, hey, I mean, Bill Shankly lived above Everton, and he was coach of Liverpool. I don't understand why Everton never cried that there was a spy somewhere. Why are you crying? Anyways, to make matters worse, the coach of Leeds United, Marco Bielsa, now comes to confess that he actually sent one spy. I think that's where because at first it was just there was a spy. You can't prove anything. Then when the coach comes out and says that he sent a spy, then it triggers an investigation because
I don't understand what the quibble is about. Look, as far as I know in football, people send scouts and all those stuff, people to watch your games and all of that stuff. It's done. Everybody does it. Everybody knows everybody does it. So what is all this one about trying to get 3 points? Take your loss like a man and go and sort yourself out. If you're worried about it, improve your security. But it's going to be difficult because fans tend to be allowed into these sessions more.
And they spy.
So it's almost inevitable that people will come in.
Let me tell you.
Even if somebody's not an official spy, people come in with a thing called mobile phone. They will record it. It can get out.
Let me tell you where the problem is. The problem is Marco Bielsa saying he sent somebody, and that may trigger a punishment for him because, like you said, everybody does it. He didn't need to speak.
So
He
didn't.
He didn't need to.
FA that's going to punish him.
FA probably.
It's the FA that's launching the investigation.
We do have to take a break though. Well, thank you very much. Keep your messages coming into WhatsApp 080944400981. This is the Locker Room on Smooth 98.1.
I was trying to say that we only have one story. That was the last one.
That was not surrendering.
We don't have any messages. WhatsApp is two people. Which people?
This is Smooth 98.1. We are Lagosians. We are sophisticated, yet rugged. Street smart, yet cultured. Boisterous, yet productive. We are intellectual. We are street savvy.
Um,
We have a sense of
Which one?
superiority.
You like
We
no.
are
Which one?
revolutions. We are abreast with technology and trends around the world. We set the
played on
pace for other Nigerians
So
to
take
follow.
that one.
In
So they're talking
Lagos,
about
time means money. We don't dull. We don't
Manchester
sleep.
City.
We are energetic. We make things happen. We are politically aware and we demand the best from government. The voice of every Lagosian.
So the messages coming. If we don't have enough time, let's just read the messages.
Everybody is somebody.
So, but if we have time, then we
Voice
take the
count.
Manchester
Go
City
to
story.
www.babajidesonwolu.com to join the
think I was going
movement
to
for
last
a
this long.
greater Lagos. Vote Babajide Sonwolu as governor, Lagos State 2019.
Sanwó-Olú, Èkó á sàn wá.
I don't care. Why are we always doing tribute to people that didn't send us? She's not one of us.
She has never,
She's
she has
not-
never wanted to
No, it
be
matters.
in Nigeria.
It matters. We like to celebrate outside. We don't like
She
to promote
has never
inside.
had a desire to be remotely.
What they do is that they
So
go
she
out.
say a thank you. Send
They,
a thank you
no,
message.
they go out. They make their name. Then they come back and rape Nigeria. They are all colonial masters. That's what they are. They're like, my career is dead. How can I jiggle some more money? Okay, let me sing some nostalgic songs for Nigerians. Since I'm from Nigeria, emotionally we'll sell. We'll not buy them. Poor party. I will catch them. Poor party. They do it all the time. It's not only them.
Alright guys, now let me tell you how a typical day was. In the morning,
No story, just read the messages. If Chima doesn't apologize, don't read this message.
What?
If Chima doesn't apologize, do not read this message.
Who?
Chima only. Don't read this
I don't
message.
say any apology here.
Then don't read this message. His own message.
We're reading the message.
Read it.
Studio. Mics are up. This is the locker room where we talk sports and every story that affects the world of sports. Here is the locker room 981 and Smooth 98.1. Quick messages here on Twitter. We have this one from Nathan Njoku. It says, so no Kane, Sissoko, and no Son. Tottenham just went from 3rd to 6th and out of the ECL. If only Arsenal can get their acts right. Liverpool's own injuries piling up fast too. Wingerdom and TAA just joined the list of injured players. Thank God we're out of the FA Cup. Wow. Chimobi Victor says, with Hurricane out because of injury and Son also away for the national duty, it will be difficult for Tottenham Hotspur to finish in the top 4 this season. While for Liverpool, I do not see them winning the league this season. All right, let's keep it moving. Another message here from Chimobi Victor.
Says Tega, let's use this moment to apologize to our legend Kanu uncle. I hope and pray the police will help him get back those medals.
Thank you very much, Chimobi.
Thank you.
Glad you came back with that apology. It's always very important for us to be empathetic to people who've lost something. Lagos, that's the much we can take on the show. All right, thank you very much for joining us for sports stories inside the locker room. It's amazing how time flies when you're listening to the locker room with Tega Supreme. That's her handle on Twitter. And Brutalistics with an X at the end. Coming up,
You too.
yes, he has joined the club. In the next 15 minutes, we'll be having a very interesting conversation for a Lagos Talks 981 special with the deputy governor, candidate for the deputy governor race for the Lagos governorship elections. That's Mrs. Busari, Mrs. Halimat Busari. She'll be live with us to answer all your questions. Remember, for you to call on Lagos Talks 981, you call the number.
01448991. So please save the number and call us as soon as the show starts again. That's 01448991.
Thank you. I like to encourage, to not encourage bad behavior. Just apologize. Block it. I'm telling you. Block the living Jesus out of it. You want to victimize the victim. This is what? Why did you do this?
Have you met him before? Who's Victor?
No.
He came here once, and then I met him at a friend's wedding, and if you see the way he was one kind right.